Now the conversation of music, of art, is gone because when artists put something out, the last thing they talk about is music.
I'm not even all the way mad at artists that do that because this is a different sport.
Right.
Shit, I don't really care about this shit too. This is a quick bag. Now you taking up space for like me.
He himself is admittedly not someone that would categorize himself as a gangster. There's some pretty gangster shit that he's saying right now that I haven't heard gangster rappers saying.
DIY.
All right, DIYers. So over the last week, there was an interview here with Tyler, the Creator, and he was talking to Mav Carter. Obviously, Mav Carter works as a partner of LeBron James. He's doing these interviews here on the Spring Hill YouTube, and Tyler has been saying some really interesting things over the last year, really about hip hop culture in general. And it's dope to hear him speaking about the things he's speaking on. This one in particular, he talks about what he considers, I guess, meme rappers and the issue that they pose when it comes to their imbalanced coverage by media versus someone like himself who is a true to art musician. So I'm gonna let him cook and we're gonna get him to react to that. By the way, this is my guy, Chris Los. If you didn't watch the Monday video, this is my guy. Here we go.
And when I signed up for this stuff, that not only wasn't the landscape, our brain wasn't even
knowing that was coming.
So people are still adjusting. I'm adjusting to like, damn, everyone could see everything. You could just look up someone's address and motherfuckers is like, damn, I could know what my favorite artist is eating for breakfast and not feel weird about it because every fucking page, whether it's academic, shade room, or whoever the is posting it, now the conversation of music, of art, is gone because when artists put something out, the last thing they talk about is music. So you know.
Yep.
Somebody gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
When artists put out their music and they go on these interviews, the last thing they're talking about is the music.
Kurt, I seen this coming for a minute.
How? What did you see? What did you see?
I
Give me
seen
some
it
insight.
coming for a minute. Is you know, like being in this, man, like this was like homies were going from vinyl to Serato, right? Mm-hmm. So seeing that whole wave of like streaming kicking in, I'm like, ooh, this is gonna be weird for artists now to like eat.
Right.
They're gonna get show money, cool. But now this is streaming thing. This is gonna be different. Mm-hmm. But I was like, ooh, but ultimately, if you package yourself up right as an artist, right, you can use music will now be the tool or the gateway drug to your merch and your website and your ecosystem, which hopefully you have built.
Right. Hopefully that you built it. Right. But now it seems like people have leaned so far into the other things, right? The antics at the shows, doing the clippable moments on podcasts, being these outlandish influencers, I guess you can kind of call them,
right,
that they've allowed it to fully sacrifice the quality of their music, and they're not even shameful of it. They're not even like faking it anymore.
I think there's also been like nobody's ever like discussed how that this is a different music industry than it used to be. For example, like it makes sense. Like you've got to go to TikTok and have a hot 20 seconds that gets used 100,000 times or whatever in order to get traction for your thing, even though the rest of the 2 minute or 1 minute or, you know what I mean, song is whatever. You just need this for that. So I'm not even all the way mad at artists that do that because this is a different sport.
Right.
This is the sport of streams and likes and virality. And so for that reason, like win that game. Right. But you and I came up in this thing where it was like the music. Who made the illest music?
That part.
Period.
And don't ever convince yourself because you got them numbers that what you do is what I do.
Yeah,
and I think that's what Tyler is saying. Like,
yes,
don't get it different. Don't get it twisted. Like, yeah, you do make your version of music, but he's like, what I have been curating, what I studied, and I've seen Tyler talk about this at large about how he stopped himself from just recording songs so that he can learn actual song writing and song structure, like pop structure versus this structure. So he's taking that time with his craft. But it's funny because you see artists now who they care so little about it and they're yet so loud about how little they care about it. So no, he's getting ready to cook into some more stuff. But I thought this was a great place where he's starting it at.
What that does to a fan listening to music, if they see the person that made the music not give any like value to it, you think they gonna give a fuck about the album? They gonna listen to it for an hour and be like mid.
Yeah.
Mid, not even
what
in
they
mid.
do.
They don't even use the word right. That just means it's like average. They just don't like it, but that's just their word. And because you didn't even give value to it, people can't even articulate what they dislike about it. They just say mid and move on. They don't go into detail about what they didn't like about the beat or the lyrics or this and that. I get mocked because I'm like, track 4, 2000, this album came out. I'm a musician. What the fuck else do you think I'm supposed to talk about, you dumb fuck? About who I shot, who I got beef with, about who I fucked? That should be 90% of my conversation. No, I make music. I'm a music nerd and a musician. I care about this shit. So when y'all niggas see me on TV and I'm talking about music, the shit you know me for, what the fuck?
And
hell yeah.
is your frustration to
What are your thoughts on what you hear from there?
Hell yeah. I love it. Like, that's what it is, right? Like, I am not you. I care about the music. I understand what is going on here. I understand the instruments. I understand my count, my bars. I do this. I'm a geek.
I'm gonna play devil's advocate, but I get more views. I get the same views as you. We got the same Spotify listeners, so like we're the same thing, right? I'm being devil's advocate.
You're
right
good
now.
at that. You're good at that.
But no, like I got invited to the Rolling Loud. Like y'all opened up, but like I'm on the same stages as you. Like we're the same thing, right?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where it's like that's where that conversation has to happen. To where it's like you can share this. Actually, nah. I'm gonna say nah, Kurt.
Don't
Like
even,
I think
not even that.
I
huh?
think whoever is allowing you to get on that same stage,
Yeah.
needs to get the same text that Michael Rubin got.
Hey guys, I was rethinking bringing you on the show, and I actually and I'm with you. I play devil's advocate because I've seen it happen in real time. Where I did a show in Vegas, and it was a young lady that came up to me. It was a show that wasn't promoted that well, right? It was just a show that it just one of them shows, and so performing and doing the show, and you know the audience is all spread out. Like even the venue itself kind of has some awkward things going on with sound. Whatever, it's just another show. There was another artist that was going up, and I could tell that she was a little bit panicked, and she was asking me questions about this, like, well, why is it like this? And I could tell she had just started. She was a younger artist, and she asked me a question. I began to ask, and she said, "Actually, no, no disrespect, but I saw how they were reacting to what you were doing, so I'm just gonna go ahead and ask somebody else." And I'm like, there's a part of me that's like, wait a minute, ma'am. First of all, I'm still Curtis King. Don't get it twisted. What you saw tonight. Everybody has a night. But it dawned on me that when that is your barometer, when that is your North Star, is the views, when your North Star is just what you see in these moments, and that's how you judge someone's value, you're going to overlook the people that can literally change your life. Yeah. And I'm not saying that from play, I got to change your life. It's not even about that. It's a matter of you don't know where that person's going to be based upon how they treat their craft.
Yes.
Based upon the results are different when you really make that shit. When your music is really like that, the results are different. The doors that you get opened up are different. The yeses that you get are hell yes.
Yeah.
And it's incentives that come on top of that.
But it also has to come with you caring.
And you caring.
That much.
Yeah.
Like I can instantly think of this moment where Travis Scott was very pre-Travis Scott that we know here in 2024, doing one of those opening outside of the BET Awards stages.
I saw that.
In the heat.
And they
in the daytime,
there's barely folks out there.
And there's barely folks out there. And he finds one cat in the thing, and he gets off the stage and he goes over there and he's rocking with this dude.
See?
And that energy lit the whole building up, but that came from him.
Yeah.
He cared that much about his craft and rocking this empty area, but connected with the one dude who he could spark this fire with that led to this thing, right? And with the artist coming up to you, she's just looking for like, how do I get a good video for my reel?
You care about this art form so
Dude,
much?
I love this art form so much, bro. And there's so many niggas out right now that aren't musicians that are getting treated like musicians because they make meme records or whatever. And I'm like,
come on, Tyler.
Somebody's gonna have to tell the truth, and I'm gonna tell it.
Look, in the past, all these videos, like at some point, some of y'all gonna give Tyler his props.
For sure. Have to.
Because I tell you right now, I've done a bunch of Tyler videos, and for whatever reason that people draw their opposition to things he says, he's been saying some things that have challenged the norm, and he's in a position to speak about that because he's invested his time. He stood the length of the time, and he's been here. And he's been contributing, and he's worked with all of the folks that he said he was going to work with. Now he's starting to give opinions that are valid, and they're coming from a place of, look, I'm the connector between these people who don't care about the nuance of music and y'all over here who obviously care about the lyrics. You care about the detail. And he's like, I'm trying to bridge the gap. And he can do that. So I look at that and I'm like, it's good that he's speaking like that. But what he said right there, he's like, man, y'all are treating the folks who have the metrics like those are the people who are the musicians, and that's just not what the truth of the matter is.
I love him because you could see he cares about the music by the passion in which he's speaking with, right? Like how he's just going. It's like, yo, come on, man. Like, and I gotta believe that in his time he's been learning about instrumentation and different. Like you could just see, like he hasn't just been in it and just keeps on putting things out because this is what you're supposed to do to feed the algorithm.
He cares.
I care. And I'm getting upset because y'all are doing it for, right? Like, and so you can see that fire in him, man. I love this, man.
Can I let people know who I'm in the presence of?
Michael Frankie Audio, D-Sound. I'm an analog prisoner of the binary information world.
One of the dopest things about this project was Iman Omari bringing in who he considered his guru in mixing, and Mike Frankie. With 40 years of engineering experience, he's worked with artists like Prince, Bobby Womack, Isaac Hayes, Digital Underground, 3-6 Mafia, and even the Bangin' on Wax project. So having him involved in the Beige EP was an absolute honor.
Just because the human ear only hears from 20 hertz to 20,000. Yeah. Everything above 20,000 you feel. You might not hear it, but you can feel it.
Put down your phone, baby, put down your phone. Put down your phone, baby, put down your phone.
And I love how he could pull off a black Peter Pan hat with the fur on the side, just so fly, man. Come on,
my head ain't designed like that. If I try to do that, these folks in here gonna fire me up. Like, oh, look at he acting beige again.
Bro, this nigga's out here that's really special, really aliens, really talented, really putting in the work. And y'all niggas giving this dip fuck who these niggas publicly will be like, I don't give a fuck about music. I just do this shit for money. Like,
I agree with you.
like, get your bag. I love that. But like, when every publication is like, hell yeah, let's put that out. Man, a 15-year-old, a 12-year-old, a 20-year-old gonna see that and be like, man, shit, I don't really care about this shit too. This is a quick bag. Now you taking up space for niggas like me.
Tyler, you come a long way, bro.
Man.
Because I remember there was a point in time when he was younger and he was like, I don't give a damn about these legends. I ain't trying to make friends with nobody. He was like, he was in there doing what as kids do. But seeing his evolution, seeing how much, like I remember when he first was really like showing videos of him learning how to do different kind of chord progressions and playing freely. And he's like, this is the first time I ever fully did this song. And he's sharing these moments. It's different when he says it because they can't put him in a category of just being a detached old head like they'll do me. Like, oh, you just detached, man. Music, it's changing, bro. It's changing. It's like, no, he can do all that stuff that y'all are doing and finding success at, and he could do it better. Because these companies that are working with him, these the clothing companies that reach out to him to do collaborations, the shoe companies, Converse, they're not working with him just because he's Tyler the artist, the rapper or the producer. They're working with him because he's the rapper, the producer, the video director, the visionary. You know what I mean? These are all the things that he brings to his own experience, but he's now bringing that to brands, and they're seeing that it financially benefits them. That's a powerful thing. And then on top of that, he still has the influence over the kids, but I think he's speaking facts in that some of these companies that are employing writers that are covering, certain types of artists because they got motion, they're probably going to move on to another profession. But what about what they're responsible of? We're always talking about how artists are responsible for the domino effect of what they say and how they should be held responsible for how they influence kids. My thing is, what about these other outlets that have the reach and have the audience and have the opportunity to highlight people who are doing the things, but instead they're going for the things that get the clicks? That is going to show a 12 or 13-year-old like, damn, like, I like this kind of music, but this is the kind of stuff that gets off. I'd be stupid not to go. Like, I feel like there's artists who feel like that. What is kind of your views on what he said there?
I think you're chasing different things. You're chasing a popularity and being popular, or you're chasing making great music. And I don't think those two things align. And it's cool because I've seen like a few young heads right now. Curtis inspiring, bro. Like that are just like not plugged into socials, that are making jazz records and doing other stuff, but they're not. I love it because it does require you to not care about that.
Yeah. You got to sacrifice something along that in order to have that.
Yeah, and then like, when you're ready to share what you're doing with the world on a grander scale, and you want to get cool, man, share it. Right. But spend these time, those 10,000 hours, if you would, or whatever, like really mastering your craft and getting your thing together of this vision and idea of a song or an album or whatever you're trying to create. Spending time with it and doing the first one and the pilot and the second one and the third and then again and again and again until you're like, yo, this is it.
This is it. I found it. I figured it out. Yeah.
I really want to be
for people who really care about this art form. And like, I don't like that.
But do you get satisfaction?
And these niggas can't perform. All these niggas dress alike. Man, you go to 2003. Jay didn't sound like T.I., who didn't sound like 50.
Come on.
Pharrell didn't sound like Dre, who ain't sound like fucking Quick, who ain't sound like Ye or Just Blaze or Alchemist. Eminem didn't sound like fucking Jill Scott. Jill Scott wasn't trying to sound like...
That's crazy. That's crazy. I'm gonna let him cook, but that's crazy. That's crazy. Eminem did... I can confirm. I don't know if you can confirm this.
I can confirm as well.
Eminem did not indeed sound like
At
Jill
no
Scott.
point.
At no point.
Yeah.
I'm not afraid. I am not afraid that he ever sounded like Jill Scott. Because Jill Scott is in her own bag, and he's in his own bag. But I mean, there was a time where individuality was celebrated, and it seems like now we're at an interesting place in which individuality is, I should say, your ability to be homogenous, your ability to blend in is like, oh, that remind me of some Lil Uzi Vert. Oh, okay, oh yeah, you tapped in. Like even like when you're talking about one of the biggest records right now being a DJ Mustard record, it's been some years.
Yep.
It's been some years, and usually when the landscape changes the way it does, you don't really see somebody come back as strong as this unless they're working with somebody that's one of the elite artists in the industry. But seeing that play out the way it did, it was the thing that was the aggressive separation from the herd. All these rappers were making very depressing emo type of music. They were making I don't want to live no more type of music. They was making records that were like just wild ass memes. And in comes a Meet the Grams, in comes a Euphoria, in comes records that just you could only look towards the independent hip hop scene, the Griseldas, to even look for something that's remotely close to Danny Browns and folks who are rapping over stuff like this. And that becomes mainstream conversation, pop culture conversation to a certain degree. So I do feel like my instincts tell me that the people are asking for more.
For sure. Well, it's the easier route to go is just jump into the traffic. Right. This is what's streaming well.
Oh, the traffic of what's already working.
Yeah, I'm checking hashtags. So if I hashtag my thing and this is working for him and she's doing this, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump on in because maybe I'll fly into that space looking like them.
Like Julian from the fucking Strokes, everyone was them fucking cells. Now like everyone is doing cosplay as a Spider-Man meme of like the next nigga. Everyone uses the same slang. Nigga, you are from LA and you saying slime?
Yeah, exactly.
We don't say that. It's crazy how the internet has made everything so like homogenous, like nothing is its own thing no more. And
you know what's crazy? And I know you remember this, Chris. At one point in time, they pushed Odd Future off to the side as like, that ain't really LA rap. That's weird. That's that weirdo shit. These niggas from Hawthorne. Like they over there. He himself is admittedly not someone that would categorize himself as a gangster. There's some pretty gangster shit that he's saying right now that I haven't heard gangster rappers saying about where we're living at right now and what time we're in and how ridiculous it sounds. But as much as he was an outlier, he's now becoming kind of like OG'd in.
Yeah.
And now it's the same kind of wisdom that I came up on, even a generation after him or before him. It's the same stuff, and I'm like, hell yeah, that's exactly what we've been trying to say. But I think what's happening is he's even seeing it affect his world,
right?
And now he probably feels like, you know what, I get why maybe some of the older artists were saying these type of things.
Yeah, I love seeing Tyler in this, like, grow into this and who he is and speaking to the culture, because now it's like after you spend time in it, you understand the culture of it. And I think that's kind of key to everything. Like in any industry, music industry is no different than like the car club culture or like, you know, the world of baking in that industry, right? And fashion in that industry. Like, and so when you spend time in an industry, you're like, oh man, I don't really do this. Perfect example, bro. Like when I was an intern at the Beat, right?
Right.
I'm DJing. I'm like, all right, let me be a DJ, right? Kurt, have you ever heard me say I'm a DJ ever?
I've never heard you say that. That's crazy. I've never really heard you ever heard you say that.
Of course, and you never will, because I was around DJ Melody, world famous beat junkies. I'm sitting there, night show, he's DJing for Julio. I'm watching him every night.
Yeah.
I'm DJing.
You're seeing a real
little
deal.
events here and there with homies, getting a little bread and a few drinks at clubs and whatnot.
Right.
But I can never call myself a DJ.
Yeah.
Because I'm watching this dude do something with these turntables and this mixer that is a level far beyond what I'm able to do in blending records.
But you know, and I respect it, because that's exactly the same way that I view it as a rapper. I don't call myself a singer, right? There was a certain time where I wouldn't even call myself necessarily, I didn't feel like I deserved the title of artist, because although that was songwriting, I wasn't necessarily following, any kind of structure. I didn't go through any kind of, proper channels to like really figure out these are the established structures of songs so that I can then break them at some point. But you got to know the rules before you can break the rules. And I think that kind of way of approaching it puts you in a place that when if you do decide to pursue it, nobody can take that away from you because you went through the proper channels, right? I remember Dave Chappelle made the joke. He was like, he was talking about, I guess, women at the time who were dressing a certain way and saying, you can't judge me based upon how I dress. And then he used the analogy of like a police officer. And he's like, imagine me dressed up as a police officer. And you're like, yeah, there's a cat that's stuck in a tree. He said, just because I'm wearing this doesn't mean that I'm a police officer and you're passing judgment on me. And it's like a lot of people out here are that literal joke. In that, they wear the uniform of being a quote unquote artist, but they don't want to do anything that involves the evolution or the growth of the art. Just because I'm wearing this uniform called art doesn't mean I'm an artist. Stop talking to me like that. Kurt, where's the clout at?
Yo, that requires time. And we in a microwave ass world.
So true.
Right?
Yeah.
It needs
and you get rewarded.
Yes.
You get rewarded for being microwave. Man. Look, DIYers, these were our thoughts. You let me know how you feeling about these, all right? DIYers, if you enjoyed this content, make sure that you hit the like button and maybe even consider subscribing. Come on, man. Stop being greedy. Peace.